We have the top 10 epic driving routes in the UK. Can you guess which one is number one? We also have motorhomes getting stuck down narrow streets and overnight parking bans in various places, and find out why it may cost more to holiday in Scotland even if you don't use campsites. It's all coming up in this episode of Motorhome News. Hi, I'm Ads. You can find links to all the news articles in the video description. We're going to start off with something you all probably know about already, and that is that the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has pushed back the ban on selling new petrol and diesel cars and vans from 2030 to 2035, giving car manufacturers 12 years to improve technology and come up with vehicles that don't run on fossil fuels but have a decent range, are fast to recharge or fill up, are affordable and have an infrastructure in place. Like I said before, at the moment there isn't an affordable electric motorhome yet, so this is good news. Some more good news is that JCB, not a name to be associated with motorhomes, have announced another breakthrough in hydrogen technology. JCB have managed to retrofit one of its hydrogen internal combustion engines into a Mercedes Sprinter van, proving that motorhomes and campervans can run off hydrogen. There are no performance details in the article, but to me, we're a step closer to replacing fossil fuel motorhomes with hydrogen than we are with battery-powered electric motorhomes. One reason why we may not want an electric motorhome in the future is because of the huge amount of power they'll consume while charging on a campsite. Some campsites are reporting that they are unable to cope with the increase of electric cars. Installing more car chargers and beefing up the cabling will be a massive job, which would involve digging up the campsite to install thicker cables. Since a lot of the campsites are rural, the national grid may also struggle to get enough power to those places. The article from the BBC is referring to static caravan parks, but as more holidayers buy electric cars, then it's going to get worse, and we'll see more and more touring caravans being towed by EVs. We may also start seeing campsites temporarily closing due to getting a power upgrade. I'm sure you have opinions on electric and hydrogen powered motorhomes and possibly problems with campsites, so let us know in the doobly-doo. Talking of campsites, a campsite in Dorset has flooded due to a nearby river bursting its banks because of the very high spring tides. Even though campers were given advance warning, some refused to move. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have thought twice about staying in this field. Apparently, one camper can be seen sitting outside in his chair. I think that's him there. What makes me laugh are the canoeists paddling through his pitch. Do they not know it's courteous to go around other people's pitches? This one was sent to me by Adrian Smith. A German couple hiring a motorhome got it stuck in the seaside town of Padstow in Cornwall. A witness said that they were in bits as they tried to navigate the narrow Mill Road. Instead of stopping, they continued, but did eventually stop and managed to turn around, but not without burning the clutch out in the process. The reason for getting stuck was apparently due to a sat-nav error. And before you say something bad about our friends over in Europe, a British middle-aged couple touring Spain in a motorhome managed to get it wedged in the beautiful village of Sorvillan. They appeared to ignore the sign warning that large vehicles should avoid village centre, and the police and the tow truck managed to pull them out, but it took 4 hours to do so. What's the lesson learned here, folks? That's right, don't allow your sat-nav to drive you around. Look where you're going and read the road regardless of where you are from or visiting. On the outskirts of Bristol, just north of the Clifton Suspension Bridge, is a large parkland called the Downs. There are at least 60 vans parked there long term, probably because the parking is free and there are toilets. Now though, the council and the Downs Advisory Panel want to ban overnight parking from 1 AM to 4 AM with a £500 fine. They have also considered using a number plate recognition system. The Fife Coast and Countryside Trust in Scotland has a new approach to dirty camping, which I think could be used elsewhere in the UK. Over the last few years, wild camping in tents and the number of motorhomes have increased at Silver Sands Beach in Aberdour. This has brought with it problems such as antisocial behaviour, illegal camping and inappropriate parking, with the locals having to clear up the mess left behind by tourists. Nothing was done about it until last year when wild campers left human waste on the beach. Little Johnny, that's a strange looking flag on top of your sandcastle, isn't it? The Trust has employed extra staff so that someone can be on site to maintain the public toilets, empty bins, do repairs and be the first point of contact for the public. They have also managed parking with appropriate signage, designated parking bays and educating users. This next one has been sent to me by Gillian Shaw. The popular seaside town of Felixstowe has a problem with motorhomes overnighting on its seafront. Up to 35 motorhomes have been seen parked along Undercliff Road East, and concerns have been raised about the damage to the curbs and putting pedestrians at risk by occupants blocking the road and the promenade with tables and chairs. The council have come up with 3 options to solve this problem. Either introduce size-based restrictions on vehicles, have a limited amount of free parking, or have restrictions on overnight parking. However, they don't like the idea of having parking meters because Felixstowe has a tradition of free parking and doesn't want to deter visitors. The council hopes to make a decision by the end of the year. Since the pandemic, motorhomes and campervans have become very popular. So much so that most tourist spots and seaside towns have been swamped with motorhomes. A lot of these places are unable to cope, such as the North Coast 500, as I reported in this video here. But it's not just happening in the UK. This article from News in English says that the whole of Norway was overrun with motorhomes this summer. The hot weather in southern Europe and the weak Norwegian currency has meant that motorhomes have flocked from across Europe, including Norway. Some narrow roads have had much greater traffic on them during the tourist season, roads which haven't been built for this capacity, much like the NC 500. One business owner is shutting down his guided cycling tour business of 20 years because of the safety issues due to roads becoming much busier. It's not just busier roads. Motorhomes are overnight parking in beauty spots and car parks, which I don't have a problem with as long as they follow the rules, but they are treating these spots as campsites. They're getting out their chairs, tables and barbecues, which is totally wrong. But the problem isn't just motorhomes, it's Norway's entire tourism sector that is struggling. According to the article, there are also too many cruise ships visiting, and there aren't enough locals to cater for the masses of tourists. Let us know if you've had any problems in Norway or any other country for that matter. The Wales Way is Wales's answer to the North Coast 500. It's a set of 3 routes: the Coastal Way, the Cambrian Way and the North Wales Way, taking you through the beautiful countryside along the coast and through the mountains. We've done a couple of these routes before, so we are aware of them, but I'm not sure when these routes were named or classed as tourist routes. If you'd like to know more or are looking for an itinerary, then I'll leave a link in the video description to the Visit Wales website. Talking of the North Coast 500, it has been voted the UK's most epic road trip. The car manufacturer Dacia conducted a study asking 2,000 Brits what their favourite routes are, and the NC 500 was in first place, followed by the Coastal Way in Wales and the Jurassic Coast in Dorset. Here's a list of the top 10 most epic road trip routes. Still on the NC500, there have been 6 deaths and 23 injuries in the Highlands due to traffic accidents in the last year. According to this article, the Highlands have had the most crashes in 7 out of 8 years across the whole of Scotland, which I find hard to believe. The NC500 is now regarded as one of the most dangerous routes in the UK. To improve safety, a Scottish MP has written to the Transport Minister asking for a code of conduct for motorhomes and for more signage to tell foreign travellers to drive on the left, not to drive in motorhome convoys, and to pull over if someone wants to pass. As well as road signs, other signage would include rental vehicles having window stickers and guidance on how you are expected to drive in the Highlands. However, the Institute of Advanced Motoring has said that it won't support a change in law targeted at a particular group of road users, and said that a quick solution would be to increase the speed limit on all single carriageways in Scotland to 50 miles an hour for HGVs. Now, by increasing the speed limit, you may find drivers overtaking less and therefore fewer head-on crashes. But it sounds a bit like comparing apples with oranges to me, because the MP isn't asking for the law to change, only to educate road users, particularly foreign drivers. But what do you think? Let me know in the doobly-doo. Now, you may be aware that the Scottish Government is looking into the possibility of introducing a tourist tax called the visitor levy. This would mean that an extra tax could be added to the accommodation in hotels, B&Bs and campsites, and given to the relevant local authorities for improving roads and facilities, etc. And if you're thinking, it doesn't bother me, I won't be using campsites, then I have extra news for you. The Highland Council has called for motorhomes overnight parking outside campsites to also be taxed, but it may not be as easy to implement. The Chief Executive of Visit Scotland says the difficulty is which local authority do you charge with levying a motorhome? If we are trying to get people travelling around the country and they are going into 3 or 4 different local authority areas, it is not the same as accommodation. What do you think? Are campsites already expensive? How would they be able to tax an overnight stay in a lay-by car park? Let me know your thoughts in the doobly-doo. And if you want to know why NC500 locals hate motorhomes, then watch this video. Or you can keep up to date on more motorhome news by watching this video. And if you think we've earned it, then why not subscribe for more updates and give this video a thumbs up.